Mark Zuckerberg returns to Congress, NHL playoffs and more things to know Wednesday. Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg will appear before the House Energy and Commerce Committee Wednesday to testify for a second day on data privacy. On Tuesday, nearly half the Senate grilled the social media executive about his platform's ability to protect Americans' personal data and ferret out foreign meddling in U.S. elections. The hearings come after it became public that tens of millions of Facebook users' personal information was collected and sold to Cambridge Analytica, which used the data to target ads for Trump's presidential campaign. Acknowledging that he's made a lot of mistakes, Zuckerberg said Tuesday that his company is in an arms race with Russia and other foreign adversaries that seek to exploit the platform to influence U.S. elections. Arizona teachers from more than 1,000 public schools across the state are preparing for walk-in demonstrations Wednesday morning, part of a push for a 20% pay raise and increased education funding. Arizona Educators United grassroots leaders are emphasizing the importance of the demonstrations as they prepare for a long-term walkout. Arizona teachers are joining educators across the country in the call for more school funding and higher wages, following teachers from Oklahoma, Kentucky and West Virginia who staged their own strikes since last month. The opioid crisis that is ripping apart lives across the country appears to be uniting Republicans and Democrats in Congress. On Wednesday, 4 committees in the House and Senate will hold hearings on an assortment of bills to combat in a variety of ways the epidemic, which resulted in more than 42,000 opioid overdose deaths in 2016 and which experts agree is growing worse. One of the latest proposals in the Senate includes speeding up the development of non-addictive painkillers, stepping up enforcement efforts to stop the flow of addictive drugs from other countries and sending more grant money into states that have been hit hardest by the epidemic. The 2-month journey to hoist the Stanley Cup begins Wednesday in the first round of the NHL playoffs. The Pittsburgh Penguins are seeking to become the first team since the New York Islanders in 1982 to win 3 cups in a row. But they aren't considered a favorite among the 16 teams just yet. The Vegas Golden Knights, meanwhile, took the league by storm as the best expansion team in league history, and the atmosphere at their home arena, T-Mobile Arena, figures to be more than a pool party. Want to go crazy with your picks this postseason? We've got you covered. What do Federal Reserve policymakers really think about the future pace of interest rate hikes? Minutes of the Fed's March meeting, which featured a rate increase, could help answer that question when they are released Wednesday. At its March 20th to 21st meeting, the Fed lifted its benchmark short-term interest rate by a 0.25 percentage point, as expected. But the minutes may shed light on whether the Fed will stick with a projected 3 rate hikes for 2018, or whether fears of a juiced-up economy and inflation will spur policymakers to raise rates more rapidly. Wall Street, which has been buffeted by wild swings in the markets of late, will be keenly reading the text of the minutes,